Welcome back to another Telltale Books video. I'm Greg and I'm continuing to cover Stephen King's latest collection, You Like It Darker, going through each and every story in here, even though it's stepping out of my publication order, a long way out of my publication order. That's okay. The world's not going to come to an end. And this book is relevant right now. It's very interesting. I'm loving reading everything in this collection. It's an excellent collection of more recent Stephen King short works. In this video, I'm covering another of the short works in You Like It Darker. This is number 254 in my Stephen King bibliography, which may or may not be accurate. And it's titled On Slide In Road. And as far as I can tell, it was first published in You Like It Darker. Though I've heard that a lot of these stories were published online before this book was published. So it may have been published a little earlier. I don't know, though. I could not find anything telling me that. So, best of my research, this is first publication. It's a brand new story. Okay. And of course, that's where I have it, is in You Like It Darker. On Slide In Road, you have Grandpop. And he and the whole family are heading to a funeral of a relative. It's quite a distance away. And Grandpop knows a shortcut off of the interstate. He insists that they take Slide In Road, especially since there's supposed to be this great inn that they can stop at that he wants to see. And he insists that they all pile into Grandpa's big old Buick station wagon and go. So they agree. And Grandpa's son, he's the father, he and his wife and the two kids, they pile in the Buick with Grandpa and they head off. But this road is going through the middle of nowhere. There's just nothing. There's just fields. There's just wilderness. There's beat up old buildings. They see the Slide In, but it's completely deserted and decrepit and fallen apart. And at one point, they decide to turn around and head back. But in turning around, it's a narrow little road, and they go off the road and get stuck in the water gully along the side of the road. But fortunately for them, there's a truck parked in a driveway near where there used to be a building. It's now just foundation. And it's fairly recent truck, so they figure there are people there that can help them. The one kid runs and looks at this empty foundation that's just water filled in what used to be the basement. And these two guys come up from out of somewhere and start talking to the boy, and they go with the boy out and start talking to the family to help the family get their car unstuck. And that's when they pull out a gun. This is a Stephen King story. It's gotta go dark on you. This is, I'm not going to call this a great story. I think Stephen King has written a lot of better short stories and, of course, many much better novels than this. But this is a solid story. It's a very good short story with excellent characters, a really tense situation. The writing is Stephen King. It's among the best. And the ending is very satisfying. I hear a lot of people say they don't like King's endings. Well, the ending to this, I loved. I've yet to read a Stephen King where I didn't like the ending. They've all been good so far. I don't get what people are looking for, that that they're not finding here. I think his endings are totally appropriate for what he's writing. Anyway, this is an excellent story. I loved it, but not enough to call it a top tale. It's not that great. There are a lot of other Stephen King works that I think are superior to this, but this is a good one. It's not, it's more thriller. It's not supernatural. It's not fantasy. It's not science fiction. There's no paranormal powers, no ghosts, no vampires, but still very tense and very terrifying. It really is. If you're going to keep digging through Stephen King, you should get this collection and definitely do not skip On Slide In Road. Excellent work. I believe that you will be satisfied with it. So have you already read On Slide In Road? Don't give spoilers, but do tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about Stephen King. Tell me what you think about comparing and contrasting, because I've mostly been reading early work by King, and this is really, aside from like Duma Key and Needful Things, this is the only more recent King that I've ever read. And I'm finding a consistency. Am I wrong in this? I'm finding a consistency in style and quality of writing and especially in the kinds of characters and situations that he puts into his stories. I'm finding a definite continuity, and not, a lot of what I'm looking for in doing this everything in order of publication is to see some kind of progression from early works to later works. And so far I'm not seeing, of course, I'm not seeing everything in between, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of difference between what I'm reading here and what I've read in like Night Shift or Skeleton Crew. I'm seeing pretty much the same level, and tell me if I'm wrong. Am I seeing pretty much the same style also, or am I missing some stylistic differences between these? I'm not seeing it. So give me your thoughts on that. And come on back for more. I will be continuing to read and report my thoughts on all of the stories in You Like It Darker. What's the next one after On Slide In Road? It was Red Screen. And that one actually, I do know was published earlier. That was published back in 2021 online. And so that will be jumping backwards a little bit to number 245 in my bibliography. But come on back for Red Screen and all the rest of the stories, and You Like It Darker, and all the other Stephen King stories that I'm discovering. And of course, everything else that I'm reading and reporting on for Telltale Books. Till then, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you then.